So this is a test of the LimeTech process kindly posted by John P for converting a Xen VM, a Windows 7 VM, to KVM. Here John lists some before starting, so he suggests we make a copy of the existing virtual disk, which I've done. I can check that out by going to my backup server. This is a physical Windows 7 machine. This is not a VM. This is a physical Windows 7 machine which sits in a different part of my house. It runs stable boot drive pool, which I guess is an alternative to unRAID in some ways. It's quite a nice setup. It has a lot of the same features in that it pools drives of different sizes. It has duplication, etc., etc. Actually, these are all my disks in here, and these are all my ex-unRAID disks. So I guess when I retire unRAID disks from my main system, they go in here and they become part of the backup system. So there's 8 terabytes in there at the moment, which is actually more than I have in unRAID right now. So I must go about purchasing more disks from my main system. In any case, my backup is here on the pooled drive. So all of those old unRAID disks are a pooled drive here, and I've got my domains folder from unRAID backed up. There's all my VMs. TV server is the one I'm going to be looking at today. It's a 40 gigabyte image file. This is a Windows 7 image. So I'm happy that I've backed up the file, and I'm ready to go. The other thing that is recommended is we remove PCI device pass-through. I've done that as well. I've edited my Xen VM config file, and I've taken out all pass-through. The pass-through on this device or on this server were digital connection Octopus TV tuner device, and also a sound card which was passed through. So they're both gone. So our starting point should be our server booted in Xen boot mode and the VM started. That's done. Here's unRAID. Xen is running, and of all the VMs that I have set up on here, only one is running, and it's the TV server VM. So we can connect into that. So we're now VNCing into the Windows 7 VM, and here it is, and with all my PVR software and my RAM disk tools and the like. So step 1 is we need to determine if the VM uses GPL PV drivers. And the way we do that is we have to go to Devices, Device Manager. We need to open our network adapters, and I see that it does have Xen net device drivers, so we are using GPL PV drivers. I knew that anyway because I'd installed them, but we may as well follow the steps to be sure. So that means that we do need to follow the longer set of instructions. So step 2, prepare Windows 7 for driver removal. So open a command prompt, running it as administrator, click start all programs, click accessories. So we'll do it exactly as John requires here. Start all programs. Accessories, and right click the command prompt, run as administrator. Yes, I want to do that, and type the following at the command prompt: bcd edit, set load options, no GPL PV. File operation completed successfully. That's great. So we will now reboot the VM. Oh, it looks like there's some updates waiting here, so I may just stop the recording and let that happen. Hopefully that won't interfere with things. I've just shut that down by accident rather than rebooting. So we will stop recording there, and I'll come back in a moment. So we're back. Instantly for you, a couple of minutes for me. I simply just shut down my VM, rebooted it, let the install happen, and I went on to step 3 in John's list. I have already downloaded the GPL PV uninstalled .bat file. I figured you didn't want to sit through me typing that in. So now we need to extract this to our desktop. So let's do that. Where do we want to put it? We want to put it on our desktop. Okay, extract, and we're done with that, and we should now have Oh, we've got two. Uninstall. Uninstall on one. Okay. Okay, so uninstall the 0.10 to your desktop. Right click and run as administrator. This will happen very quickly. Yes, I'm sure. There we go. All done. Reboot your VM. Okay, let's do that. Let's restart rather than shut down this time. Let's see that happening. So, shutting down. And we'll open it up again. Oh, no connection. There we go. A little bit too quick on the draw there. I'm actually connecting via unRAID rather than directly in, so you can see the boot process. If I connected to the IP address of the VM itself, I would have had to wait until it reached desktop. So I like going in through the Xen VM, and I'm actually interested to see how this will all work when I move to KVM. How VNC will work. Can I VNC? And I'm sure I can, but that'll be some of the areas I'll be exploring. Something up on my network. I guess that's related to what we just done. So after rebooting, open Windows Device Manager again. So let's go for Control Panel, Device Manager. Now I'm on step 5 of step 3. Step 6, under System Devices, right click Xen. So that's fine. Xen PCI device driver. And select uninstall. And in the confirmation, check the delete this device. Yeah, that's what I want to do. And there we go. And now that, just check that's done. Yes, it's gone. And step 6 says shut down the VM. Getting a little bit nervous at this stage. Shut down. Now, next is step 4, reboot your server into KVM mode. That requires me, so that's gone. Let's see, I don't have any Xens running, no, so I can go main, or operation, stop, stop. This should be pretty instant since there are no VMs to shut down. So I was saying I will do this, I will stop once again, and then I've got to run upstairs to actually reboot and get into KVM mode, which is standard mode. Oh dear, look, retry mounting disk shares, that's not good. I'll let that run for a little while. There's no point in you having a look at that. And when I come back, I should be in KVM mode. So here we are, back up and running again. You missed a little bit of me running around the house, switching computers on and off, but I'm now into unRAID version beta 15 in standard mode, no Xen. And actually it's been a little while since I've been in this mode. Xen's been really stable and really good to me, so I'm missing it from here. I haven't seen it here in a while, so let's have a look and see, just recap on what we've done. So we've checked GPL drivers. Yes, that's done. Step 2, we prepared for removal. Yes, we downloaded the uninstall and we removed those drivers and we shut down the VM. We rebooted our server into KVM mode. Now, John here lists just some edits on the Syslinux config file to disable Xen and reboot into KVM. I'm not doing that at the moment, just in case I need to go back. I'm happy to manually boot at the splash screen for now. So let's see where we go next. So we now need to create a new VM with the VM manager. If you haven't already, follow the procedure documented here to enable the VM manager. I haven't done this. I need to do this. I guess if you don't want to see this bit, you can skip forward a little in the video, but I've got to do this now. So I'll open that in a new tab and see what that's all about. Oh, system preparation. What is this? Under using localized virtual machines. Okay. So BIOS settings in order to utilize. I've got all that done. Great. There are 2 methods by which your virtual machines can get access to a host-based networking through private net bridge. The private bridge is automatically configured when lib. Great user. Public bridge can create it through network settings page on the unRAID GUI. So let's go to unRAID settings, network settings, and I already have a bridge, and it's called Xen Bridge0. No instructions to change that, so let's leave it as it is. Create user shares for, at the minimum you should create 2 user shares for use of virtualization, 1 share to store, install media files, and another to store your virtual machines themselves if you don't already have a share for use for backups. So I already have a domains folder on my cache drive, which is an SSD. I guess I can continue using that. I have that set up as a share. Let's just double check here. There it is. Something's gone wrong with that though. All files remain on cache. Okay, that's interesting. It looks like a warning triangle, but it's not. It's actually a standard status. So my domains folder is my domain share is there. That's good news. So I guess we can skip the next one. Set up virtualization preferences. Before you get started creating virtual machines, you need to perform a few configuration steps. Use your web browser to navigate to VM Manager settings. Set enable VMs to yes. So settings, VM Manager, enable VMs, yes, please. ISO library is optional, that's fine. Alternate, use a default managed network bridge. I might need to change that to Xen BR0. Let's see, we'll come back to that if necessary. PCIe address, no override, no, I don't think that's required. So hit that, go back and double check. Select the shares you previously in IS and VDisk share fields. Type VIRB in the alternate network bridge field if you want to use the lib. And this is required if you didn't create a network bridge. Tell me if you wish to use. Okay, so I think there's a bit of trial and error required here for me. Click apply. New VMs tab will appear on the unRAID taskbar. So okay, let's continue going anyway and see what happens. Let's first of all see, do we have a VMs setting? Yes, we do. There it is. So now we're on to step 5, substep 2. So click on the VMs and click add VM. There we go. So next step is give the VM a name, and if you haven't already, download the virt.io drivers ISO and specify it. So give it a name. This is going to be called, well, I'm actually going to change the functionality of this as I go along. So rather than rename it TV server, it's going to be media server. Give it a description later on. The template, don't know what that means, and there's no mention of that. Give the VM a name if you haven't already. Download the drivers. Now, reading a comment, there was a note about the drivers. There they are. Download. Click and select. Download. Here they are. I need the ISO. That's it there. Click on that. And that's downloading to my Windows desktop that I'm using here. We'll just let that run, and as that's copying there, I'll go back to my tab and see what else I need to set in. Give the VM a name if you haven't. Download the drivers. I'm doing that. Under operating system, be sure Windows is selected. Yes, there it is. What are the options? Other. Okay. Under the primary location, select your Xen virtual disk. I'm going to set that up the same as I had before with 4 CPUs. Now, was it 4 or 2? There's the question. I think I had 4 on this system, but I'm not sure. So I need to go to my unRAID system. Go to my cache, domains, TV server, my config file, and see that I had 4 CPUs and 12288 memory. I had a lot of memory in this machine just to accommodate the RAM disk. There it is, and 4 CPUs. Great. So now, sorry, I had to, under the primary VDisk location, I have to find my old, there it is. Now have we, yes, we've downloaded it here. So this is the virtio. I shall copy that and pop it into my domains folder as well, just for now. Slowly. I'm on a wireless network here actually, which isn't going to help speed, but that's quite low in terms of speed right now. Done. So my virtual drivers are on my cache drive inside domains, and there they are. Okay. Add an additional VDisk and give it the size of 1 meg. You can put this VDisk anywhere, it's temporary. Okay, how do I do that? Okay, so this is step 5, subset 6. I have just set the primary VDisk location. There. Perhaps it's add another VDisk. Okay, there we go. That wasn't abundantly clear. So add an additional VDisk. Give it a size of 1 meg. And you can put this anywhere, it's temporary. So the second VDisk location, I'll again put it into domains. There we go. So the second VDisk location is in domains, and the second VDisk is 1 meg. Okay, leave graphics sound on all defaults and click create. Alright, so that's all defaults, and now I can click create. I'm sure if you're watching this, you're shouting at me going, you should have set the network or whatever, but I'm sure I'll find that out pretty soon. Leave graphics out. So, sorry for a small bump in the road there. You can see I'm using Bandicam on this computer. Actually, this is not my computer, this is my son's computer, and he's into gaming and creating gaming videos. So we set up Bandicam for him to see whether that works. It works really well. We got to go and register it now, but the unregistered version only allows 10 minutes recording. So we cut off just as we were booting into the VM under KVM for the first time. And the good news is it worked. You missed a lot of me observing the drivers installing. So in terms of John's list, we were on step 6, sub-step 3, when the VM boots up, will install several drivers and prompt a reboot, select reboot later. So we did that. It popped up a lot of stuff happening. A lot of USB devices will work faster, etc., etc. And now we're looking at device manager, which is step 6, sub-step 5. And here are the 3. So for each one, the recommendation is that we double-click, we update the driver, we browse for it, and we navigate to Xen Win7 AMD64. Type it in. I tried typing this in, but one of the things I've discovered is my backslash key doesn't work. It's producing a 3. So, and I recall reading on the forums that there's something to do with keyboard mapping in KVM, and that's something that I'm going to have to look into. I'm based in Ireland. My keyboards are always set up as for Ireland, so there may be an issue there if I was to change them in either unRAID or within Windows here itself. But look, that's something we'll get to later on. For the moment, I'm going to just navigate through to the D drive, Windows 7, AMD 64, say OK, next, found it, always trust, install. So that should be my Ethernet controller. Now it will be interesting to see, will the network come up in this, since I didn't specify a bridge device. That's done. I can close that. I can close that, and I've got the same thing to do again, just twice. So let's just run through this. Browse my computer, it's there already. So I'll say next. And it's installing that one. Always trust from Red Hat. That's fine. When all 3 drivers have been loaded, shut down your VM. Okay, close. Close. That one's done. One left to go. Update driver. Yes. Next. So fingers crossed. There we go. That's done. 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 Cancel that for the moment. Interestingly, my network appears to have come up. Let's just click here and see what happens. Can I connect to... Yes, I can connect to my unRAID setup. And can I get online? Yeah, there we go. We're online. Good. So, step 6, subset 7, 8 even, shut down your VM. Shutting down, and I guess I can close that. I'm just looking here at the VNC address. That's something I can try in VNC in a few minutes. Okay, we'll close that down. We'll close that down. And here we are back on. It's still running. I guess I should wait for a refresh in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. No, still showing as running. Now it stopped. An actual refresh of the page did that. Okay, so remove the temporary vdisk and restart. So click to edit the VM. I know how to do that now. No, that's not right. Click on the VM using the form-based editor, the pencil symbol. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. So back in here, pencil symbol. Remove the secondary vdisk. So I can remove that there, I guess. Ensure the primary disk is pointing to your original vdisk. It may be pointing to the secondary disk, but you can update this. So the primary location is... Yeah, that's interesting. It is looking at the secondary. So I've got to get it back onto my original. There we go. And when completed, click Update. Start your VM. Start my VM. Open VNC, starting Windows. That's nice and quick. Again, the disk image file is on an SSD. My cache drive is an SSD, so it's reasonably snappy to start. This VM stays running most of the time. It runs a whole house TV, whole house audio, and the like. Now we're installing some device drivers, so it doesn't. I don't start it up that often, but some others I do. So it's good to have them on SSDs. So devices are ready for use. That's good news. And it looks like, well, I've no audio here because I've no pass-through done. So I guess that's the next thing. These guys can go. Yes. Let's make sure that I can still access my... That's a nice change. Under Xen, when I booted this VM, it took a little while for the network access to come through, which meant that my auto connection to my unRAID media share didn't happen, and I would have had to click on that. But I note now that it's actually come up instantly, which is super. My RAM disk is there, and that all looks good. Just make sure my media, music, there we go, it's all there. That's good. So that is the end of the list, and that's good news as far as John P is concerned, in that his instructions work. There were a couple of points along there. I might just put them in the notes with this, just points that might have been a little bit easier or whatever. I'm going to stop this recording now, and then I'm going to try pass-through to see can I get my physical devices pass through again, and how easy or difficult that might be. Wish me luck. So now, having completed all the steps to migrate my Xen Windows 7 VM to KVM, which I've got to say was actually very straightforward. It took me maybe 20-25 minutes, but there was a bit of back and forth and recording and all this sort of stuff. It's a rapid process. Next up, we'll be trying to convert some of the Windows 8 VMs, and then my Arch Linux Netrunner VM, which may as well be tricky. But now what we're going to try and do is pass through my digital connection, Octopus TV tuner, PCI device, and an audio device that was also on this VM originally. So we'll, I guess, start by shutting down. And we'll close that off, and we'll refresh this to make sure it's not running. There we go. I've got that good stuff, so I guess it's in here I need to go. There's a notice start there. I won't do that right now, but I will later. On my graphics card, so in this case I'm not passing through a graphics card. Most of my other VMs do. Let's just see what the options are here. Yes, there's all the graphics cards. This is my boot card on my unRAID system. I would love to be able to pass that through and run VM headless, but I don't think my motherboard allows me to do that. But the other three are here for the other VMs, so that's good. No VNC password. Sound card. Now the sound card is not showing up there. The one that I had. USB devices. Do I have any USB on here? No. Now, so here's the challenge. How do I pass through devices by PCI IDs, which is something I would have been used to doing on Xen by going into the config file. These are USBs, so it's not listed anywhere here, obviously because it's USB, but if I go to my tools, not my system log, sorry, my system devices, the device I want to pass through is here. It's the 0E00.0, it's the digital devices, Octopus, and also this one. This is the sound card, the multimedia audio controller. This is not critical. I'm actually going to change my configuration on this in any case, but I would like to be able to do it. So the devices are listed here, but when I go to VMs and edit my domain, and I check, for example, the sound card, it's not there. I'm only seeing the sound devices read the HDMI cards that are in this machine, and it doesn't list other PCIe devices or PCI devices here at all. So it looks like I'm in for a little bit of manual editing of the config file. That's not something that's going to be solved here and now, but something I gotta go and look into quite quickly, or else when the kids come back there's going to be no TV in the house. So hopefully I get that solved pretty soon. The other thing I just wanted to try was figure out how I can VNC into this from somewhere else. Obviously, okay, but the machine needs to be running for a start. And I can do it from there, but I wonder, can I do it from here? So if I connect there, and there it is, same as before, and that's great. But that's got screen 0 specified, so that's good news. VNC works as before, but I suppose my question is, how can I, oh, let's see, does this work? So there's that, and can I safely shut it down. There we go. Excellent. That's working really well, and I'm really happy about that. I guess my question is, if I wanted to, because I'm going to have multiple VNCs on here, or not VNCs, multiple VMs, how do I determine what the VNC screen is going to be? Now, this may happen automatically. As I add more in, they may increment automatically. It would be nice if they did. There is a place here for I saw it earlier, a VNC password. Yeah, there. But there's no place for specifying the VNC display. Again, we'll see when that happens, when we add more. Okay, so for now, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to put this together and upload it. Maybe if somebody wants to point me in the direction pretty soon of how I can set up my PCIe pass-through and PCI pass-through devices that aren't listed on the screen, that would be super helpful. Otherwise, I'm in trouble.